How many of you think the courts are biased against men? How many of you think they're not? So, excuse me for reading, I don't usually do this, but gender bias in the courts reflects a general gender bias in the culture. Governments and interest groups fund all sorts of programs for women and none for men. And when they are for men, they aim to protect women. As an example, 2 days ago here, my wife makes me angry. Halifax has got some money to help men so the men won't beat their wives, right? So no matter how you look at it, whenever there's money for a men's group, and it's very rare, it's always because that's going to help protect women. Research has shown repeatedly that people believe women over men, so that the burden of proof in criminal or family is higher for men. Years ago, the legal aid system tried to save money by requiring anybody who wanted legal aid, i.e. mothers, and these are to claim physical or emotional abuse. I can't get it, but I'm sure that the statistics skyrocketed. And then a couple of years ago, the provincial government, in the new Family Law Act, put in a whole new section on violence, and that's now something a judge has to take care of. And I personally, I'd be interested in George Lee, personally, since that time, I've not had a single father come in here where there was not a claim, somewhere, somehow, of violence, even if it only meant he kicked the cat, but usually it's about the kids and stuff. So in that sense, I think that section is not in the best interest of the children and hurts children. In 1993, a judge of the Supreme Court of Canada, the second woman ever to sit on the Supreme Court, in a case called Young and Young, she said this. This was Madame Justice Claire Dubé. She said that the role of the access parent, father, is a very interested observer giving love and support to the child in the background. Then she said, the need for continually, generally required, now this is the role of the custodial parent, mom. The need for continuity generally requires that the custodial parent have the autonomy to raise the child as if he or she sees fit without interference with that authority by the non-custodial father. Then she goes on about the non-custodial father. The non-custodial spouse with access privileges is a passive bystander who is excluded from the decision-making process in matters relating to the child's welfare, growth, and development. And the coup de grace at the end is, this is what she says about men. Men as a group, this is 1993, not that long ago. Men as a group have not yet embraced responsibility for childcare. What if she'd said Jews haven't embraced responsibility for childcare? Well, blacks hadn't. All hell would break loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing which is against men is in mediation. My general experience, and I hear from others, that in mediation, no matter how good the mediator is, if it's coming down to, well, I say my car's worth $5,000, you say it's only worth $4,000, you know, the mediators always try to get the guy, not always, but most often, to come down. Mm-hmm. I've sat through these forever, you know. If it's a nickel and dime saying, oh, he can take care of it. Well, okay, once. Then the guy gets in the groove and he just goes on and gives it all away. The myth of the deadbeat dad. I've never met one. In 45 years, I've never met a single man that would come into my office and say, I want to do this because I don't want to pay. I've had so many come in and say, I will pay even if I can get custody or half time. The other problem, of course, is a lot of guys who get an order against them that shouldn't have been given in the first place. They don't have any money, then they can't hire a lawyer. So that whole system is just horrible. Sometimes I call, well, I won't say that.
Say it.
Well, we'll go on the question of spousal support. If the next wife marries a millionaire, but she doesn't work, the dad is still on the hook for child support. I said it should be child support. So you're a working class guy and you make $50,000 a year, and Your wife goes off and marries a multimillionaire, you're still paying her child support, which would be so much better to have in your pocket to help your kids. You know, it's just criminal. The other thing, which has always been a gripe of mine, if you've killed somebody, you've murdered somebody intentionally, you come to me to defend you, the first thing I'll say to you is, I don't want to know. Because if you tell me that you did kill that person, I cannot swear an affidavit or put you up on the witness stand in court knowing that you're going to lie. There should be a law of Canada which says that lawyers who swear affidavits of clients whom they know are lying, that should be a criminal offense. I think that would just, things would change. And I'm coming to the other thing I think I would like to see happen, of course, which I've been working on for almost 20 years, is a rebuttable presumption for shared parenting, equal time shared parenting. Now, of course, if you want it, you spend a fortune trying to prove you should have it. It should be that if someone says it wouldn't work, the onus is on them. And you couldn't just say that. You'd have to have a bunch of things in the background that could and could not be evidence, because they can make up so much stuff. So let me just, in closing, let me leave you with this. Up until a few decades ago, child custody was governed by two doctrines, mother preference and the tender years doctrine, which held that mothers inherently and biologically were superior to men when it comes to love and affection and bonding, parenting. They were, end of story. The tender years and mother preference doctrines are now supposedly dead, having been legislatively, by courts, and by the government, and judicially by the courts, buried deep. You talk to somebody who's an intellectual and thinks they know, and they argue with the high value of this legal system, and they say, oh, no, there's no more of those preferences. I say this, like zombies in The Living Dead, they come out of the courtroom walls when the lights go down low and eat children's brains. Thank you.